Let's hear it for our band. Hey, welcome to Unity San Francisco. It's so good to see you all here today. Isn't it a gorgeous day? Yeah. Yesterday was equally fantastic. JD, my husband, is in Iowa today looking at the caucuses and the build-up to the Monday's caucuses. And when he called yesterday, I was asking about the temperature. It was 25 and snowing. And I said, "Aw." It was 70 here yesterday and beautiful. So welcome to Unity San Francisco. For those of you who I haven't met, my name is Reverend Ken Daigle, and I have the honor of being the senior minister here. I'm so delighted to be here and be with you. Katie, I'm going to need the clicker. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Dan's got it for me. Thank you. I didn't have it in my pocket. And it's starting a special month. One more thing, Deanne. Can I have one of the brochures from the back? No, the brochures from this February. It's now February. Can you believe this? It's February, and here we are. And it's starting Black History Month. And Unity World Headquarters put out this booklet, which is beautiful. It's in the seat right in front of you. You're welcome to take one home with you. And it's gems of wisdom from African-American spiritual leaders in the New Thought movement. And it's really a powerful example of how many people in the New Thought movement have transgressed it, transformed it, shifted it by the power of their own personal lives. The prejudice they had to overcome to even enter ministry in the Unity ministry, and in the early 20th century, what they faced and what they overcame. So it's inspiring, and we're going to talk about it all month. I invite you to take one of these home with you. And we have an example of that here in this community. For those of you who don't know, Unity San Francisco has been around for 100 years. Started on, which street? Post Street. On Post Street in New York, in San Francisco, in a rental. I lived in New York for far too long. It's like the rote. In a rental unit until we bought a place on 9th Street. And at the place on 9th Street, we were visited once, and then many times after that, by an amazing woman named Maya Angelou. And Maya Angelou discovered a lot of what she later incorporated into her spirituality at Unity. And for our 94th anniversary, the Reverend at the time had the privilege of interviewing Dr. Angelou on the phone. And I have a clip of that, and Maya also talking about Unity. So, without further ado, there's one more quote that I wanted to give. It's a Maya quote. It's like, people may forget what you said, people may forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And if we can remember that as we go through life, to remember that people will never forget how we make them feel. To step up and to be part of life, creating a welcoming, loving, supportive community is our goal and our mission. So here's Maya.
I wanted you to know Unity San Francisco is on Bush and Fillmore, which is very close to what you're talking about where you were then. I believe that this ministry was on 9th Street when you came to visit.
Okay.
Yes.
Mrs. Scully.
Yes. That was the minister then.
That's right.
When Maya Angelou needs comforting, what do you use?
I'm a student of Unity. And there's a book called
The
Lessons
Unity Church?
Unity Church.
Mm-hmm.
Maya first discovered the Unity Church in her 20s after her voice coach and mentor, Fred Wilkerson, invited her to a service there. Founded in 1889, Unity is a Christian movement that emphasizes affirmative prayer and education as a path to spirituality.
I took a course in Unity about 2 years ago, online. Not to become a member, a minister, but just to understand more deeply. There's a book called Lessons in Truth.
Wow.
And in the book, there's a line which is, God loves me. And when I came to read it to my then mentor, Frederick Wilkerson, the late Frederick Wilkerson, I read, God loves me. And he said, read it again. I said, God loves me. He said, read it again. Read it again. And finally, I said, God loves me. It still humbles me that this force, which made leaves and fleas and stars and rivers and you, loves me. Me, Maya Angelou. It's amazing. I can do anything and do it well. Any good thing, I can do it. That's why I'm who I am. Yes, because God loves me and I'm amazed at it and grateful for it.
We will always remember how she made us feel. And we get the privilege of sitting in the same community that held Maya. And I invite Mesa up now and take this to our time of meditation with our song and chant, I Am Light. As the prayer chaplains hold this space, just feel yourself surrounded.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. Light. I am the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I've left behind. I am light. Light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside. Oh,
Light, all light. As we stand and sit in this moment, we know that we are surrounded by love and light. We know that we are supported, nurtured, and that every single cell in our bodies resonates and vibrates with the consciousness of love, of light. Knowing that we can choose to be a particle or a wave as needed. Choose to be love or to withhold love. We get to step into this moment and affect the world by our mere presence. These lessons, this truth, this lesson in truth, has been around for much longer than we can even imagine. For infinite wisdom always exists through us, in us, as us. In this moment, feel the power of your presence In this moment, as you breathe once again, I invite you to feel the strength of your conviction, to feel the steadfastness of your heart, and the incredible power that is the light you truly are, driving out darkness with its mere presence. No need to scream or to shout. No need to do anything. Everything to be. I am light. I am light. I am light.
I am divinity defined. I am God on the inside. I am a star shining peace over it all. Sing with me. You are light. 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 We 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 are light. All light.
And so it is.
Good morning, everyone. Come on in and grab a seat. If there's an empty seat next to you, please raise your hand so people can see where they are. Thank you. That's much better for me. How about for you? Good morning. I'm Reverend Deanne Morency. I'm the Associate Minister here at Unity San Francisco. It's hard to believe that 6 years ago we created our mission statement. Time just flies when you're having fun, right? Our mission statement is what we here at Unity San Francisco live into day to day, every single day. It is the thing that we are holding as the anchor for how we show up. So everything that we do here at Unity San Francisco, all the programming we do for classes, for services, for special events, is all linked into our mission. Is it in service to our mission? And our mission is that we pray, celebrate, serve, and connect to transform ourselves and our world. And we just started off with prayer. And I'm certainly transformed, so that was good for me. If you're live streaming with us, welcome. We're so glad to have you with us this morning. So I would love it if we all could know this mission statement together, if we could actually anchor that in time and in space right now within ourselves. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We pray, celebrate, serve, and connect to inspire and transform ourselves and our world.
And so it is. So if you take a look on your bulletin, you'll notice that there is a spiritual connection card on the inside of your bulletin. And if you didn't get a bulletin, please raise your hand, and someone will come around and get one to you. I'd love for you to tear off your spiritual connection card right now. And if you are live streaming with us, and you're on our website at www.unitysf.com, there's a button underneath the image that says connection card, so you can fill this out and still watch the live stream at the same time. So please fill out the front of this card right now. Fill it out with your name and your address. Let us know how you found out about us. If you are a regular attendee, please do fill this out as well. It really does help us to know who's here, what's going on in your lives. There's a part on the back for spiritual practices, and we will get to that later on in the service. But for right now, the invitation is just to fill out the front of the connection card. And if you are a first-time guest, welcome. We're so glad that you decided to come and spend time with us here on this Sunday morning. We do have a gift for you out in the lobby, so please help yourself as you're exiting to go downstairs to hospitality. There's a Unity magazine, or there's some affirmation cards for you to decide which one you'd like to take. And I am now going to invite Misa to come on back up here. Our community song today is going to be "You Are the Face of God." So the choir is going to stand up. I'm going to invite everyone to stand as they're willing and able. The choir is going to gather around so the live stream can hear us singing. And I'm going to invite us all to sing this together.
Okay, so everyone have to follow the reverends eventually, okay? All right. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of love. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of love.
And now there is sign language for this as well. So I'm going to demonstrate it once so that we can also use our whole body in this prayer. He goes, "You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part," it's like two okay signs, "of me. You are the face of God." Right, like this. All right? And then when we do love, you are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are the face of love. Shall we know that together?
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
I hold you
in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Now as we sing love, turn and sing it to someone.
You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of love. Oh, love, sorry. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of love. No words. Find Find somebody else.
And just sign it.
Just
without the
sign it.
words.
Just sign it, no words, okay? Here we go. I'll sing it.
Yeah.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Okay, now I'm not singing. Here we go. You are the face of love. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of love. No words. Here we go.
You are the face.
Now put it all together. Here we go. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of love.
I invite you to stay standing and to greet each other. Is the face as the face of love? Well, hi everybody. Welcome back. I invite you to come take a seat again. Thank you. I have just a couple announcements as we're starting. First is we have our new class, the Q Effect, Living with No One and Nothing Against You. It starts on February 5th and 6th, and it's facilitated all online. You don't have to get out of your pajamas. You do have to have a video. Yeah, so you have to have a. There's some requirements that your computer has to have, or your phone has to have. You can do it also on your phone. So check in with us about that. And it's also 3 coaching sessions. And this is the last day to get the workbook, right? Because the class starts this week, and it's the last day to have the workbook. You have to have the workbook with you at home to start the class. So if you're online, talk to us, call us, write us, talk to us. Email us right away, and we'll see what we can get you an email version of the first week so you can start, okay? And then the next one is our annual membership meeting and potluck. That's how we get people here, potluck, right? And the annual membership meeting is important. We're going to have lots of information about what's going on with the building, and here, a little bit warning, the first window is coming back. Deanne and I just went and saw it on Friday. It's ready for installation. It will be installed the week of the 11th, and we'll have an unveiling of it on the 16th. Yes, so that is moving along. And then we'll talk about other plans for the building and where we are. It will change from now until then, so I'll just tell you then where we are with the building. So it's changing daily. To vote on anything we're having a vote on in the meeting, new board members or anything else that comes up for a vote in the membership, you must be a member to vote. Everybody's welcome to come, to ask questions, to participate, but when we have votes by our bylaws, only members can vote. If you were a member last year, that's great. You need to sign up again to be a member this year. Our bylaws require annual renewal of membership. So it's only good for 1 year. There are forms downstairs. If you'd like to become a member, there's a form that explains the whole process. It'll only take you about 10 minutes to fill it out, and then you can be on your way to becoming a member of Unity San Francisco and build the next century with us. Okay? And then our prayer chaplains are having a retreat March 6th through 8th at the Mercy Center in Burlingame. It's a beautiful space, powerful, powerful weekend to gift yourself in prayer, in silence, and in community. It's, I think, the 4th year we've done it now, away at Burlingame, at Mercy Center, and it's become a really powerful annual tradition. There are some scholarships available for first-time retreaters, first-time prayer retreaters who can't afford it, or a partial scholarship if you can't afford the whole thing. It's $395 due this Wednesday. So just in a couple days, so we have to make a first payment. So you can put a deposit down if you want to today, and we'll talk to you about how to go forward with that. All right? And next, so now I'm going to invite Robert up and invite us all to recenter as we start this next section of our service with a reading from the Daily Word.
The Daily Word is a daily reflection which has been a part of Unity for almost 100 years. So let's take a breath and pause in the silence. Close your eyes if you wish as we anchor our awareness of divine truth. I invite you to let these words become your words. Today's daily word is wholeness. And our affirmation is, I accept wholeness as the divine blueprint of my being. Wholeness is the divine design of my being. When I align with this truth, I invigorate wholeness in every cell and atom, every thought and belief. Myrtle Fillmore wrote, God is the one perfect life flowing through us. God is the only reality of us. All else is but a shadow. I focus my awareness on patterns or beliefs that are seeking to be healed, knowing wholeness is seeking to express as my life more fully. I bring negative self-talk, doubts, and unmet needs out of the shadow and release them through the light of transformation. As I embrace my shadow, I lift my consciousness to a new expectancy of wholeness. I anchor who I have come here to be with words of truth, love, and gratitude. My whole being, body, mind, and spirit responds to divine life. I am renewed. I am whole. And again, the word is wholeness. The affirmation, I accept wholeness as the divine blueprint of my being. And together, I accept wholeness as the divine blueprint of my being. And so it is.
Know you've heard the stories, but they all sound too good to be true. You've heard about a place called home, but there doesn't seem to be one for you. So one more night you cry yourself to sleep and drift off to a distant dream. When love takes you in and everything changes, a miracle starts with the beat of a heart. When love takes you home and says you belong here, loneliness ends and a new life begins. When love takes you in, somewhere while you're sleeping, someone else is dreaming too, counting down the days until they hold you close and say, I love you. Like the rain that falls into the sea, in a moment when you has lost, it will be. When love takes you in, everything changes. A miracle starts with the beat of a heart, and this love will never let you go. There's nothing that could ever cause this love to lose its hold. When love takes you in, everything changes. A miracle starts with the beat of a heart. When love takes you home and says you belong here, the loneliness ends and a new life begins. When love takes you in, it takes you in for good. When love takes you in.
Jackie Heck, everybody. So where are we? You know, it's 2020. It's February. How did that happen? How did that happen? So I know that we all are setting our intentions. We all are trying to live into whatever that vision, right? This is the theme that Ken and I have been working with for the past 2 months, is Vision 2020. The vision that has been calling us forward. The vision that we are stepping into for this year and for ourselves. So where are you in that? Because we're a month into that process. And I don't know about you, but I'm already starting to feel what Howard Thurman would call the wear and tear of the journey, right? I'm starting to feel a little bit of that energy that's like, oh, wait, what? What did I say I was going to step into this year? What am I doing? What was that again? So this idea of living with nothing and no one against you, and this idea, as Jackie's saying so beautifully, about how we continually somehow feel as if we've forgotten that. Or we think there's something against us. We think that there are obstacles to our showing up in the world. We think there's obstacles to us living into the vision that is calling us forward, always calling us forward. And what I've become really aware of is that there's almost like a flashpoint within me. right? There's a flashpoint within me where I shift off of my center. So I may be feeling like this, right? I may be feeling all peace, love, and understanding. I got the groove. I got everything going on. I'm feeling on top of everything that I'm doing. And unbelievably, in a heartbeat, I'm this. In a heartbeat. Something happens. I experience something, and it takes over my entire system. And where one moment I literally was just cruising along, the next minute I'm angry and frustrated and pissed off and just angry at the whole world. And it's when that happens that what I call, and what the Q process calls, being in enemy territory. I went from the understanding that I am a divine being having a divine experience and everything is working for me, to all of a sudden I am in enemy territory and something is against me. And that something could be my computer because it's not doing what I want it to do. That something could be DoorDash, where I ordered a delicious Mexican meal, and when it actually showed up at my door, it was Chinese food. And 2 hours later, my Mexican food showed up. With my wife standing out on the street, waving madly to the DoorDash person, saying, "This is where we live." All of those small little pieces that all of a sudden we find ourselves going from being like grounded, centered, and suddenly we're not. And those are the small things, right? Those are the small things. Then there's also the bigger things that are happening. And those derail us for a lot longer. I mean, granted, I recovered from the DoorDash fiasco pretty quickly once I actually got my food. But that's not necessarily always our experience when things are happening and we feel like we're in enemy territory. So when we're in enemy territory, we know we're in it because we're having uncomfortable feelings, because we're having unpleasant sensations. Has anybody here feel that? Like all of a sudden you feel this tightening in your belly, right? Your throat gets closed off maybe. You feel a tension. You can get a headache. Like all of those sensational things that can happen in your body. And then the troublesome thoughts. The thoughts that just keep going and going and going and going. What is wrong with that person? Why did they have to do it that way? Why? I don't understand. What is wrong? Right? And it just keeps going around and around and around. Am I alone in this? Okay, just checking. So that place, that understanding, that feeling as if we've suddenly landed in enemy territory is arising from our own sense of pain or loss or wounds or our sense of not enoughness or our sense of unworthiness. It's arising from a place within us that is asking to be healed. It's arising from something within us that is saying, heal this, and then what you are seeking to step into is actually going to be possible. But this is something that is asking to be healed from within you. So we all have strategies and coping mechanisms that we have in place for enemy territory, because most of us don't walk around being reactive around every single thing that's happening, even though sometimes we want to. Right? We actually don't. We have coping mechanisms that allow us to navigate life's aggravations. And Debbie Ford talks about this in one of her books, Dark Side of the Light Chasers, which is a book that I've taught here. She talks about how those places, those trigger points within us, those wounds within us, that if you think of them as sort of an outlet within you, you've kind of got it contained. You're not spewing all over the place, but there's a point of entry for that wounding. There's a place where that wounding can be touched again. And then all it takes is the right person or situation or experience that plugs into that wound that you have. And all of a sudden, that's it. You are gone. Your whole system gets hijacked, right? And it happens, it's a physiological experience that you're having. So endorphins are released, chemicals are released, the amygdala gets activated. So it's all happening in nanoseconds. You are no longer grounded and centered and in that space of understanding the truth of who you are. And from that place, how we show up in that is we blame, and we're angry, and we judge. Think of the things that we say we're in that place. What is wrong with that person? They should know better than this. They should be doing it this other way. What are they, stupid? Are they crazy? Right there, we got blame, anger, judgment, resistance. I'm not going to do it that way. What are they, crazy? My way is 100 times better. I know how to do this. And if they would just listen to me, the whole world would work so well. And the withdrawal? This isn't on me. I'm out of here. No, not on my, this is not part of my world. Efforting, if I just try a little harder, maybe I can fix this. If I send one more email, this time in all caps, maybe someone will understand just how stupid they are being. And then all of it is about justifying. Justifying the fact that I am right and they are wrong. Justifying the fact that they are somehow out to get me. I can't tell you the number of times I have actually felt that my iPhone is out to get me. Right? That it's their, and I begin to take it personally. And these are, again, I'm talking about small things. I'm not talking about the big things. I'm talking about the small things. And the small things are the window. The small things are the gift. Because the small things are not, we call it don't work with a tissue issue. Right? The small things are the way that we can get in and actually see what's actually happening underneath. What's going on that is making us reactive rather than responsive? What is it that is supercharging us so we're overloading ourselves, so that we're not able to come at it from a place? I've had people say things to me. I'm a minister. People say things to me all the time. And sometimes they say the darndest things. And when they say things to me, 90% of the time, it just sort of like slides off of me because there's no outlet. There's no place for them to plug in. And that other 10%, somebody says something and it plugs right into my own sense of insecurity. It plugs right into my own sense of wounding. It plugs into my own sense of unworthiness. It plugs into all the things that I am desperately hoping that nobody can see that I actually am. All the things I'm trying to hide. And that's when I become reactive, because it's a signal. It's my divine self telling me, pay attention so you can heal this. Pay attention so that you can move past this, so that you can close up that socket, that outlet within yourself, so that there is, again, nothing for that thing to catch on to link into. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Right? I love this quote. This is so what we teach in Unity. This idea that we are the architects of our own experience. We are the ones who are creating the life that we are living. But if we aren't willing to make the unconscious something, if we're not willing to wake up, that's another way of saying it. If we're not willing to become self-aware, if we're not willing to look at our own stuff and really own it, own the uncomfortable stuff, own the stuff that we wish we didn't have, our anger, my bossiness, right? Own it and say, yes, this is part of who I am. If we're not able to actually do that, then it is actually going to run your life. And you're going to think that the world is making it happen, that the world is against you, Fate has done this to you. So the shadow. Carl Jung, there's lots of definitions for the shadow. For our purposes, what we're talking about is what you disown about yourself. The parts of yourself that you've said, nope, I am not that, because it's too scary, it's too big, it's too, ooh. I don't want to see the truth of myself in all of my bossiness and anger and annoyance and all those things, my capacity to be mean, my capacity to be small-minded and petty. I don't want to be that. My capacity to be stupid, right? I don't want to see that. My capacity to be incompetent. I don't want to see that. And when we have these parts of ourselves that we've disowned, if you think of them like beach balls in a pool, and you're trying to keep the beach balls under the surface, and you're trying to shove them down underneath the level, and they just won't stay down, will they? They just poof, they pop up in unexpected ways, in moments when you're like, whoa, where did that come from? Right? You have ever had that experience? Or somebody says something to you and all of a sudden you're like, rah! You're like, where did that come from? Why am I reacting like that? Whoa! Now, if we don't have enough capacity to be self-aware and say, what is that? What is that beach ball that just blew up in my face? If we're not willing to do that, that beach ball, and we sit on it like, oh, no, let's not look at that, then it's just going to keep happening again and again and again and again and again. And you know that sense when you feel like you're stuck, where you feel like you're not moving forward, where the vision that's calling you forward isn't actually manifesting because you find as if you're looping back around. It's because there's something in your life that is seeking to be healed that you have chosen not to pay attention to. There is something within you calling out for your greater wholeness. Now, because we're sitting on these things and we don't want to look at them, and we're really hoping that nobody else can notice how ugly and icky they are, but they're still with us. They're still with us. Just because we're trying to hide them doesn't mean they're not with us. How they show up for us is because I don't want to own that it's mine. So guess what? I'm going to project it out there on the world. That's what I'm going to do with all of that ickiness that I don't want to own for myself. I'm going to put it out there. So all the ways that I'm feeling bossy, and I don't want to acknowledge that I have that capacity within me to be bossy, guess what my experience is probably going to be? I am going to meet bossy person after bossy person after bossy person because I am projecting that onto the world around me. And I'm doing it from a place of avoidance, and I'm doing it from a place of separation. I am not that, so I am judging them. Look at how horrible they are. We see things not as they are, but as we are. And really take a look at the cartoon. We see things not as they are, but as we are. No matter how hard we may try to keep ourself out of our perspective, it is always present. How aware of it are you? How conscious of it are you? Do you even notice it? Or are you too busy blaming and putting it off on everybody else? If everybody else would get their act together, the world would be a fabulous place. If I ruled the world, everything would go so smoothly. So the process that I'm inviting all of us into is really a process of wholeness. It's a willingness to look at the parts of ourselves that we have shoved off to the side, to take those parts of ourselves that are fabulous gifts, really. So my bossiness, which I own, people tell me I'm bossy, and I can honestly look at them and go, yep, I am bossy. But because I have owned my bossiness, I'm also able to temper it. I'm able to be conscious of it to actually use it. So that part of my leadership ability is my ability to take the energy and not use it to boss people around, but to use it to be present and to persuade and to be articulate and to convince, all of which are powerful tools to have. Now, if I am so busy trying not to be bossy, then I'm also not accessing all those other aspects that go along with it. Nothing is just one thing. Everything is multifaceted. So who are you not? You're spending remember those beach balls? Remember the beach balls? Oh, and I love this too. Everything that irritates us in others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. This is the basis of the Q process. That what is going on out there that is irritating you, that is annoying you, that is frustrating you, that you can use that to do some of the deepest, most powerful healing work imaginable. There's three phases to the Q process. So the first process is the things outside of you that are the enemy. And then the second week, we move to the way that you are your own enemy. And then the third week, we move to how our past is our enemy and how we carry what happened from before into our now. So all of this, because those beach balls, right? There is beach balls, right? All that energy that it takes to try to pretend that we're not something. All that energy that we spend trying to keep those parts of ourselves from being seen. And you know what's so funny? The irony is that we are trying to hide something from ourselves and we think we're hiding it from the world. But guess what?
Water's transparent.
Everybody can see those beach balls. Everybody else can see those beach balls. You're not actually hiding from anybody except yourself. The only person, because everyone else has a 360-degree view of you. You're the person who doesn't have a 360-degree view of you. I turn around and my shadow is still there. And I keep turning and my shadow still keeps moving just out of my eyesight, just out of my range. The only way I can catch my shadow is through the mirror, which is you, which is the world. That is how I'm able to see the parts of myself that so desperately want to come home, that so desperately want to be integrated. Those parts of you that feel separate and outside, that feel lonely and cut off, that feel ugly and horrid and sick and small. That's not the truth of who you are. It's not the truth of who you are. So all of these beach balls that you're so busy trying to mask over, all they want to do, what if you took your attention away from trying to cover all that up? And what if you took all that energy and focused on who you have come here to be? Not who you have come here to not be, but who you've come here to be. Can you imagine if you free yourself? There is a freedom to this work that I can't even begin to explain to you, because you're unlocking the divine potential within yourself, and you are saying yes to compassion and wholeness. Because how can I possibly show up compassionately for the world around me if I'm not showing up compassionately for myself? If I can't hold the parts of me that are angry and small and petty and mean, well, how on earth am I going to have compassion for someone else? So in the Q process, we call it falling off your cue card, which means we become human. We actually have a human experience. We fall off our cue card. And in that process, you get stuck there, and you start to think that when you've fallen off your cue card, that's who you really are. that you are that small, that you are that powerless, that you start to think that that's the truth of who you are, and it's not. The process invites you to get back on your cue card. Who have you come here to be? And I don't know about you, but I came here to be love. I came here to be vision. I came here to be zeal. I came here to be energy and power and presence and compassion. That's who I've come here to be. And in those moments when I fall off my cue card, I get reactive. My system gets hijacked by some wounding that's inside of me. It's an invitation to heal that wound so that I can show up again. I can choose anew. Ken talked about the wave and the particle. So the Q effect means the quantum effect. And the Q effect has to do with this idea at the base of the base that we are both the wave and the particle. That we are the particle, the moment in time that is solidified, and we are the wave. We are the infinite potential that is always seeking a greater expression of itself. And so the process invites us to take those moments that we have solidified around and turn them back into the wave. Turn them back into infinite potential. And unleash the truth of who we actually are. So everybody just take a moment, take a breath, and I want you to just sit with what your life would be like with nothing and no one against you. Just breathe into that for a moment. Nothing and no one is against you. What do you feel? You can call it out. Powerful. Relaxed. Free. Peaceful. Peace. Courageous. What was that? Confident. This is who you are. This is the truth of who you are. So the invitation is to step into the work that will heal that wounded spot that somehow doesn't remember who we are. And when we move from this place of the peace and the confidence and the power, when we move from that space, our experience of the world is transformed. And we are transformed through the process. We get to literally carry the world in the palm of our hands. We are that powerful. That the world is, what do they say, the world is my oyster? The world is right here for us in all of its magnificence. All of it is ours. So I'm going to invite Jackie on up here, and I'm going to have her solidify this understanding of the world. Really sit with that. The world in the palm of your hand.
Hey Jackie, come on and sing. Let the world know you got everything. Hey Jackie, there is no thing working against your due blessings.
I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got that string around my finger. What a world, what a life. I know love. I got a song that I sing. I can make a ring go. Anytime I move my finger. Lucky me,
Jackie Heck. Welcome back. Thank you, Deanne. Thank you, Jackie. And as they work on making our PowerPoint work again, we'll do some other work. Thank you. That was so wonderful. If you pull out your connection card, on the back of it has an opportunity for us to put that into practice this week, into our spiritual and daily practices this week. If you're online with us and you want, you can click the button that says Spiritual Practices of the Week on the website, and a separate window will pop up for you there. And the first one really gets me. I am willing to release blame and judgment. I was driving home the other day. Somebody was taking the turn too slowly. I was going, really? Really? You're going to do that? Really? Because I had to pick up the kids, and it's all about me, right? So I embrace my wholeness. That is part of me. That impatience is part of me, and it's part of the wholeness. I celebrate who I've come here to be. Now, I've not come here to be impatient. Really, I am shooting for something higher, so that's something for you, too. What did you really come here to be? And sign up for the Q process. It's a great opportunity to dive into all of this today. When the offering baskets come around, you can put your connection card into the offering basket. And these spiritual practices also live on the inside of your bulletin, so you can take them home with you to remind you of all of that this week. Now we're in the middle of our teddy bear drive. So for those of you who don't know what we do, these are all new. Last week I played with the unicorns, and Roma's excited about them. I see they're in the back there. And we have other teddy bears. What we do is collect teddy bears for kids who are entering the foster care system. So they're being removed from their homes, and they're picked up by Child Protective Services. And these teddy bears go with them in that really scary moment, right? And when they're being transferred from home to home. So what we do, and who would like one, is we hold them for the whole month of February in our arms. Yes. And we put them in the seats with us. The big ones are up here. They're gonna, unless you want to come get you're welcome to come in early and get a unicorn and sit with a unicorn or the panda bear with you. And we love them all month. So every week this month we invite you to bring in some new teddy bears or stuffed animals so that we can provide them to children here in San Francisco who really need to feel that love. So grab them when you come in and love them up and bring teddy bears. Giving and receiving, something as simple as that. Those white ones I just found at Safeway when I was shopping on Saturday, they were $9.99 each. Really, $10 to make that big of a difference in a child's life is just amazing. So giving and receiving is a two-way street. It fits with me and who I've really come here to be. Right? That expression of love in the planet. So when I give financially, when I give of affection, when I give of my time, when I give of my treasure, all of it comes back to me tenfold. And I know that very deeply. If you are giving here today of your treasure or of your time or talent, we thank you immensely. There's lots of different ways to give here. One of them you see on the screen is the text to donate. Is that screen working too? Yes, it is. Text to donate, and that's information on that is on the back of the envelope. The envelopes are in the seats in front of you. It has all the information about that to make that easy. If you want to give by credit card, you can see one of our staff members. They have iPads that they can swipe, or you can fill out the inside of the envelope. And if you're giving cash, if you want to put it in the envelope and put your name on it, we can put it into your records for your tax purposes. If not, if you're giving by check, you can just put a check in. And I invite you to give as you are so motivated, because every penny you give here, we turn around and use for our ministry. We now own this building and are about to renovate it by gifts. We've gotten all of this by people like you giving. So look around. It's like, wow, how powerful is giving? Look what it's created. If you give automatically, we really appreciate it. And there's a form also in the front of the chair in front of you about our Conscious Commitment Campaign. And our Conscious Commitment Campaign is asking you to step up and say, this is what I will give monthly, this is what I will give this year, and to make sure it gets to us so that we can make our plans and to keep to our budget, and that when you are not here, because we know you have full and exciting lives, we can continue to do the work we're here to do. And one of the ways that's manifesting is in our live stream. When you do that, when you auto tithe, when you do it, there's also this in $100 bill, a Unity $100 bill in the seat in front of you, so that you can put it in the basket and participate in this ritual of giving and receiving. So with that, we have an affirmation. It's divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I joyously give and receive. And in the First Steps Abundance class last week, we spent a lot of time talking about that. Our ability to receive is important in establishing our abundance in our physical lives. If we can't take it in, we can never really live an abundant life. So think about that as you give. There is a two-way street to it. And I want to model here as we do this part. Receiving. I'm so grateful receiving your presence, your attention, your love, and your gifts, your financial gifts here today. Shall we know this statement together? Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I joyously give and receive. And as the baskets come around, we have a great song to help us celebrate this. You may know it.
All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. For it all, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Grateful for it all, na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. Grateful for it all.
Grateful for it all. Miss Misa Malone, Michael Grossman, Rick Walsh, and Jason Soda back with us on drums,
down here, Roma.
on percussion. And now our kids.
Come on down here, Roma.
Come on, kids. All that I am, all that I see. It's a blessing. It's so amazing. Look who's walking in. Woo! Woo! That's a miracle. Wow. Oh. Hi, Jessica.
Here you go,
Hi. Hi. Oh, boy. Oh, okay. I got them now. Hi, kids. Hi. What'd you guys do today?
Do I have time to read it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sweet. So we made a rainbow colors chart to basically talk about our feelings and how we can handle them. That when things happen to us, it's not like the world or our baby brother or like our parents or anyone plotting against us, trying to make us sad, trying to make us mad. But we're strong, and we can handle our emotions, and we can handle ourselves. and it's the thoughts that are making us upset and not what's actually going on. So we role-played with these stuffies.
Oh, can we show them the stuffies? Can we show everybody the stuffies? Okay, stand up. There we go. So, oh, teddy bear. Roar, dinosaur. Elephant.
Elephant.
Oh, and puppy.
So we use them to practice how to show gratitude when things aren't going our way. We can still think of 3 things that we're grateful for. And then we did countering your negative thoughts. So when you have a negative thought, realizing the opposite of that is really the truth.
Okay, stand up.
Coping with your feelings, that it's okay to feel sad and it's okay to feel mad, but how can we do it in a way that's healthy and respectful to ourselves and respectful to the people around us? Problem solving, so we're strong, capable people that can handle our own problems. We can do it, we got it. We can come up with maybe even, for example, sharing a toy. What's an action plan? Like maybe taking 3-minute turns, things like that. And then we got...
Wow.
You guys
It's
are
like,
deep this
I know.
We got...
It's like, they're not just playing downstairs.
Serious work.
Wow.
Speaking up, so we can speak up for ourselves if things aren't going right. We can speak up for ourselves, stand up for ourselves, and we can speak up for others too, who are in these situations.
Kids of all ages are welcome downstairs. Yeah.
And practice makes better. So if we know that things happen a lot, like Daddy or Papa need to leave, let's practice how we can respond to that in a better way. If we know that Joshua wants to play with our toys, let's practice handling that better in the future, things like that.
Roma's working the 21-day Q process.
And we had our own affirmations today. I swear this is the last one. We have our own affirmations. I am strong. I am not a victim. I can handle all challenges that life throws my way. And if God brought you to it, he'll bring you through it.
Oh, yay. Yay. Thank you, Jessica. Wow, that's wonderful. It is so great. And then we have an affirmation for the kids that you are God's perfect child. We love you exactly the way you are. And as I look at all the food on his pants, we can, we can say that. You are God's perfect child. We love you exactly the way you are. So it is. Thank you to everybody who made this service possible today. Our incredible staff, our AV team, our volunteer ushers and greeters, our hospitality downstairs today. Hospitality is being provided by the Board of Trustees of Unity San Francisco. And because I didn't have to do a talk, I baked a ham. So we have ham downstairs. And so thank you, Deanne, for doing the talk so I could bake a ham. And so stay for hospitality and join us downstairs. Our amazing band and Jackie's going to have you back. Jackie used to work for Beach Blanket Babylon, so we couldn't get her as often as we wanted. She had a full-time job there. Now we're so delighted that we get to have her more. And our prayer chaplains. Our prayer chaplains will be here in the prayer chaplain corner to pray with you after this. If something you'd like to hold in the consciousness of knowing that it's all already taken care of. That consciousness that knows that God is at work every moment. Every moment. I invite you to stay with our prayer chaplains and do that. And as you're willing and able to stand up and to join us in our closing song. Oh, I didn't do, you know what's going on. First steps, Q process, town hall meeting. Right, you got it. And our closing song, True Colors.
True
time for our transformational affirmations. I'll say them once and I'll invite you to repeat them after me. I release the idea anything is against me.
I release the idea that anything is against me.
I release blame and judgment.
I release blame and judgment.
I welcome a new understanding.
I welcome a new understanding.
I celebrate who I have come here to be.
I celebrate who I have come here to be.
And I see my true colors shining through. I see your true colors. And that's why I love you. So we're not afraid to let them show our true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
And so it is.
So it is. Happy Sunday, everybody.
You got him?
Devin.